Did you know that you can access incredibly valuable Hudson County property records right from the comfort of your couch, literally without spending a single dime? Well, you absolutely can. Welcome to This Explainer. Whether you're a potential home buyer, a real estate enthusiast, or a local researcher, understanding how to navigate these public records is about to become your absolute secret weapon. Let's dive right in. It's actually amazing how many folks still think they have to hire some expensive professional, or worse, waste hours standing in line at a county office just to find out who owns a piece of land or what its tax history looks like. But here's the truth. A massive amount of this data is totally free and available online as long as you know exactly where to look. So today, we're going to unlock Hudson County's property secrets together. Here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. First, why these records matter. Second, the two-part system. Third, tax searches. Fourth, deeds and GIS. Fifth, overcoming reductions. And finally, number 6, fraud protection. Okay, kicking things off with Section 1, Why Records Matter, Building Your Real Estate Toolkit. Listen, these public records are an absolute goldmine of intelligence. Seriously, imagine you're a home buyer. You really need to evaluate historical tax trends before you lock in a budget, right? Otherwise, you might get hit with a nasty surprise bill later on. Or maybe you're an investor trying to spot distress signals, like tax liens. Researchers use this very same data to trace ownership chains that span decades. And for everyday residents, well, pulling your neighbor's records is exactly how you build a rock-solid tax assessment appeal if you feel like you're overpaying. Moving right along to Section 2, the two-part system, or decoding New Jersey's bifurcation. Now, here is the single biggest hurdle beginners face when researching New Jersey property: bifurcation. Basically, public property records are split into totally independent networks. So at the county level, the Hudson County Register of Deeds handles all the legal title documents. We're talking your deeds, mortgages, and liens. But what about property valuations and your actual tax bills? Well, those are handled strictly at the municipal level by 12 distinct local tax assessors, places like Jersey City or Hoboken. So you can't just go to one magical website for the whole shebang. You really have to know which side of the system holds the specific data you're looking for. Before we actually run a municipal search, we really need to clearly define a crucial term, and that is assessed value. Look, market value is just what a buyer pays on the open market, right? But the assessed value is what the local tax assessor actually uses to calculate your tax bill. And this factors in things like senior citizen or veteran exemptions. Now, while the law technically requires assessing a true market value, in the real world, a lot of municipalities use assessment ratios that are actually well below that. To really put this into perspective, just consider the median home price in Hudson County right now, $368,800. When you pair that with a median effective property tax rate of roughly 2.25%, you can immediately see why this impacts your budget so heavily. In fact, the 90th percentile tax bill in Hudson County is over 15 grand. So making sure your assessed value is perfectly accurate, that isn't just doing busy work, it is absolutely vital financial protection. Okay, let's jump into Section 3, Tax Searches, Mastering Tax Records NJ. For pulling municipal assessments in Hudson County, your primary portal, the one that pulls directly from the local tax lists, is taxrecords-nj.com, and here's exactly how you do it. First, just head over to the site. Second, click right there on the records search link. Third, you'll want to select Hudson County from the drop-down menu, and then pick your specific target municipality, say Secaucus or North Bergen. Fourth, enter your search criteria. You can use the physical street address, the owner's name, or the block and lot numbers. And finally, just hit submit. Boom! This instantly pulls up the assessed land value, prior year taxes, and even historical sales data. It's that easy. Now, I've got a quick pro tip for you here. Always try to use the unique block and lot identifiers if you happen to have them. Searching by street address can be notoriously finicky in these older government databases. I mean, did they spell out the word street? Is it abbreviated as ST period or just ST? Using the block and lot numbers from, say, an old tax bill completely bypasses all that abbreviation headache and gives you a foolproof search every single time. Moving on to Section 4, Deeds and GIS, Titles and Boundaries. Remember that two-part system we talked about earlier? Well, now we're moving over to the county side of things. The Hudson County Register operates this platform called the Acclaim Web Portal. This is going to be your absolute go-to for searching official recorded documents, things like deeds, mortgages, and liens. Now, a word of advice when using a claim, definitely be sure to try out different spelling variations of a person's name. A historical document might say John without the H, and seriously, that one missing letter could totally hide the exact record you're hunting for. But what if you need spatial data? Well, the Hudson County GIS Mapping Hub offers this really visual, interactive parcel explorer. You can literally click around a map to see property lines, which honestly is incredibly satisfying to use. Plus, tools like the NJGIS interface offer historical aerial imagery. It is basically a time machine that lets you compare, say, a 1930 property layout directly to a 2020 view. It's super cool. Just keep one thing in mind, though. While these GIS maps are fantastic for planning, they are definitely not official legal land surveys. Next up is Section 5, Overcoming Redactions, Finding the Missing Names. If you've ever used a third-party site like NJ Parcels, you've probably noticed that ownership names are often just totally blacked out. This is actually because of Daniel's Law, which is a New Jersey privacy constraint designed to protect public officials. But here's the thing. Property ownership still remains a public record under the Open Public Records Act. So how do you legally get around that blackout? Well, first, you can use the grantor/grantee search right on the Acclaim web portal. Second, you can literally just walk into a municipal office, like Jersey City Hall or Hoboken City Hall, during normal business hours and inspect the unredacted paper tax lists yourself. Or third, you can always just file a formal OPA request with the municipal clerk to get those specific copies. And that brings us to Section 6, Fraud Protection and the Recording Notification Service. Look, deed fraud is unfortunately a growing concern these days, but the Hudson County Register actually offers a brilliant, completely free solution. It's called the Recording Notification Service, or RNS. This fraud prevention tool instantly shoots you an email alert if anyone, anywhere, attempts to record an unauthorized land transfer, a mortgage, or a lien against your home. It's basically a free digital alarm system for your property title, which is awesome. There is, however, one small but absolutely crucial caveat to getting this to work. To set up this RNS shield effectively, you have got to input your name into the system exactly as it appears on your recorded deed. So, if your official deed says John A. Doe, you need to register with that exact middle initial. Otherwise, the database just might not link the alert to your property properly. Let's do a super quick recap of what we covered today. 1. Why records matter. 2. The two-part system. 3. Tax searches. 4. Deeds and GIS. 5. Overcoming redactions. And 6. Fraud protection. Now, as we start to wrap things up, I do need to give a quick professional disclaimer. While this explainer gives you a really thorough guide based on the current data, things like accuracy, website interfaces, and the availability of these online records can definitely evolve over time. So always make sure to verify information directly with Hudson County offices, local tax assessors, or your own legal professionals whenever you're dealing with critical real estate transactions. Mastering these completely free online tools truly unlocks just a massive world of real estate intelligence. It empowers you to make highly informed financial decisions without spending a single dime on preliminary research. So I guess the only question left for you is this: what hidden insights are you going to uncover in Hudson County's property records first? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and happy researching.